Hello and welcome back to the Educator series with me here, Preethi, a family therapist and parenting coach, founder of Integrated Parenting. With us here is Roopa Kiran, founder of Absorbent Mind and directors of Absorbent Mind and a Montessori trainer. So today we're going to be talking again, revisiting the topic of concerns, fears and concerns that parents have around open schooling and Montessori, because most of us come from a traditional conventional schooling background. It is natural that when we see these alternative approaches that keep cropping up every day, it's really becoming a big thing today, right? It's natural for these alternative approaches, homeschooling, open schooling, etc., to really make us wonder, why is this necessary? Is it really good? To worry that if I choose to go for any of these alternative modalities, will our children really fit in? Will they really succeed? What is it? How is it going to impact their future, their progress in life, and so many other things? So, that is what this particular session is about. So, if you've had these questions ever, this particular talk is for you. We're here to give you reassurance, some clarity, so that you can make an informed choice, right? So let's welcome Rupa to begin with.
Namaste.
So the first question that I would like to start with is that every parent who comes up in this particular space, the first question they ask is that there is this fear about whether these alternative modalities prepare children for the real world. Isn't it too cocooned, too chaotic, too flexible for the real world life? That's one of the primary concerns that many parents have. So how would you address that?
So first, let us understand about what is real life scenario. What is real life scenario? Is being empathetic, communication, socializing, because you are not socializing with your own age group children or your own age group people outside in the society. You are communicating and you are socializing with a different age group from age 2 to age 90. So you have no set age group to socialize with. So you are supposed to socialize with every other age group people outside. That is real life scenario. Then what is real life scenario? Financially coming, you should know how to go to a shop, buy something, and be practical about calculating things in your mind and pay and take the change or whatever it is there. And going to shops to buy your dresses, you should know what you want or how to manage the money and stuff like that. That is real life scenario. Needs and wants. This is what one more thing is needs and wants. How much do people in India teach needs and wants? In schools, how much are they teaching needs and wants? See, these are all the real life scenarios where you approach and having soft skills, empathy and other things, it got then apart from, I'm talking about apart from academic rote learning. Told earlier, academic can happen anytime. The child can read and write, irrespective of the sensitive period or whatever. The child can read and write once the child is taught to do it. So apart from that, we want to educate the child. So real life scenario is all about education, not literacy. Literacy is important. I know math and language is important. That's a different scenario. But still, education is very much important to be there in the real life scenario, to handle the group, to handle the confusions, to handle the misunderstandings or whatever it can be in the real life scenario. All this come, you won't know. Today I'm happily there. Suddenly some problem is propping up there. You should know how to tackle that problem. You should know how to reach out to it rather than getting excited, anxious and sitting there and crying and doing things and, getting angry and all that. Instead of that, how do we approach and do this? That is the real life scenario. Just sitting in the classroom, we are teaching, there are subjects happening. The child will be, how do you say that from a conventional school, the child is prepared for real life scenario?
In fact, one of the primary things that I usually tell
Exactly how
in
they,
my
because
training programs is that there is no problem in this world that is not a relationship problem. That is not an emotion related problem.
exactly.
The problem in life is about relationships. It's based on relationship either with your manager, your authority, your team members, your neighbors, your in-laws, your parents, your children, your partner. Like everything, every problem is in the context of a relationship. And every relationship problem is in the context of an emotion. Right?
Yes.
So that is where we are coming to. Beautiful. So socialization is the foundation for problem solving in the future, and that comes from education, not from literacy.
Yes,
And
exactly. As I told, like, our ancestors, they did not know how to write and read and all that. They were illiterate, but they knew how to solve problems. They were educated that way. They knew how to run a village. They knew how to run their family. They knew
mm,
where they are going and what they are doing. So this is first is real life situations. Like if they are you ask me, like they're apprehensive about, because there's so much of freedom is given in the classroom in an
mm,
open school and all that. So in Montessori and other open schools, first basic is discussion. We have something called circle time every day, and lot
mm,
of things are discussed based
mm,
on the scenarios that happen in the classroom, and where
mm,
children also come up with certain misunderstandings or whatever it can be. Then that is addressed, and that is brought into a circle time or whatever, and we discuss it along with other children also. Did they face the same situation, or the scenario happened, or whatever it can be, and everyone will come together to help each other.
mm,
Here it is
mm,
not like isolated. Until and unless something is there which should not be discussed in a group, that will not be discussed. It will be kept in isolation, and will be discussion will be done with only people concerned. But
mm,
otherwise, a lot of things will be brought into the circle time, where other children are also, might be some children cannot express. Then they might tell, we bring up this question, then they'll tell, ma'am, same thing. Yes, I was also feeling. So
mm,
this is how it happens in an open school, where they are given freedom to speak. That
mm,
speak is very, very important for the child to express. That expression happens through speech alone. So if I don't give that kind of a freedom to express and come and tell me, so the child is bottling up. And one fine day, the child will not know how to speak.
mm,
He should be taught as an adult. So many a times we tell, oh, you are a close person, you don't know, they're not expressing and all that. So probably this person did not get help expressing during the younger ages. Probably this child has bottled up, and he might feel that whether I speak or not speak, it doesn't matter. Whether I speak or not, will it be considered
mm,
really worthwhile me speaking? These kind of things get into the mind
mm,
of the adult. So naturally, this child grows up to become an adult like that. Hey, it doesn't
mm,
matter. Why should I even speak? Or else
mm,
there are some who become like 360-degree, and they start involving, saying that this is what happened to me. I could not address it. Now I will address it. This also
mm,
is there. This also is there. So preparing for real life doesn't happen just by reading and writing and scoring good marks.
correct.
Happens through community living,
Mm,
community learning. Here in Montessori, what happens is there are different age group children in the same classroom.
mm,
It's not the same 6 year old, it's not the same 7 year olds. Now, 6, 7, 8 year olds are together in the,
mm,
where older children are trying to support. Sometimes even they might tell, what is it that you are doing? And sometimes, some children are there, like, try to be little, look little older, and I am senior and you should. This is also there. So both ways, but it has to happen in a gentle manner, where this is real life. In the classroom, the environment itself is giving the real life experiences, logically thinking. Something is
mm,
happening. Every time the child is not coming to the teacher, they
mm,
try to solve between themselves. Children really try to solve between themselves, and they try to do a lot of things helping each
mm,
other. And the other person will come and tell, why you people have to argue about this? I don't think so. We should be doing. And this kind of freedom is given. So children naturally, we are giving a real life experience in the classroom, naturally growing apart from academics. Academics is really on a high-end level where our children are way ahead than the conventional learning pattern. So it can be language, it can be math, or it can be whatever. They are way ahead than the thing. But at the same time, both are happening. Real life is also happening. Now, conventional only rote learning is happening. So where is the real life in a conventional setup? So if parents are scared of real life here, where absolutely the opportunity is being given, there the children are sitting for 6 hours on the bench and the desk. Where is hands-on happening? Hands-on learning has to happen for the brain to think, to use all the senses.
In
Hands-on.
a certain sense, most adults today are sitting in one place for 6 to 8 hours continuously. That is their real life. But what I really found, I think that is a really interesting point that you brought in, where there is no other scenario in life. There is, I don't think, once you get out of college, there is no
Mm.
other scenario in life where the entire floor or the entire team that you're working with is of the same age.
Exactly.
You're always dealing with people older than you or younger than you.
Yes.
And that is what is real life. And we are
Yes.
creating an artificial environment where all children interacting are of the same age, give or take 6 to 8 months,
Yes.
1 year at
Exactly.
the most. But
Exactly.
where in real life do you see such a scenario?
No, it's not
What are
possible. It's
the
not.
ages in your, different
No.
people in your
No.
group, in your,
Yes.
in your
Yes.
team at work? There's nowhere actually. That's a beautiful point that you brought in. And another thing also that I found very interesting is that the when there is no space, when there is not enough space for self-expression,
Yes.
automatic, because they are shushed, because they are told you don't know what to say, you keep quiet and listen. Somewhere that kind of sows the seed for a fear of judgment and a fear of making mistakes, which is carried well into adulthood. And that's so true. That's there for me. For me, in fact, coming here and speaking in a live show, it took me quite a long time to push myself to show up on social media. When quite a few of my peers, or even at my in my own profession, in my industry, there were so many people who were so ahead in terms of social media presence, not because I lacked the skill or I didn't have value to give, but more because there is this intense gripping fear of showing up on social media. People are judging me. Is this really going to be valuable? Will it really stand out? What are people going to think of it? That's exactly the fear of judgment and fear of making mistakes. And I'm sure, for the audience as well, just reflect back on yourself. How frequently do you have this fear to, in a room full of colleagues, to voice your ideas, to voice your opinions, to tell your boss, your colleagues that this is not going to work, or I have a new idea, or even to your own partner and in-laws, right? There is that fear that we have. Where do you think that comes from? Because we're conditioned to keep our thoughts to ourselves, to just listen. You keep quiet and listen because I know better, is what an adult, an authority figure kept telling us. Right? So that was another very beautiful, very, very relatable, real life challenge that comes from the traditional way of looking at a schooling learning system. Thank you for that. Now, the next question, I think that would kind of come from this line of conversation, is that there is a fear. Okay, we've spoken about the Montessori, but we are also talking about open schooling, right? So the lack of socialization. I understand in a Montessori environment, you have various age groups in the same room and they are able to interact with each other, and there is a lot of focus on personal freedom for the child, which actually is, it really creates the foundation for the child to build self
Confidence.
discipline, yes, self concept, self expression,
Confidence.
self awareness, and self confidence, a whole lot of things, right? How would you say this applies in open schooling? What I think our parents will also need a little bit of a definition on what is
See,
open.
yes, other open schooling systems are there, parents will be knowing around, like, not only Montessori, then other ways of teaching, and every school will have a certain curriculum they'll be having, which they'll be opting for. But the base and the foundation up to seventh grade probably will be run in a particular manner.
Mm.
And based on a topic, or based on whatever they choose, like language, it can be science, it can be math, it can be history, it can be geography, or whatever. Based on the topic wise, they will learn, and they will have a foundation thing. But still, there also they will have children with mixed age group. Open schools also will have. Socializing aspect is, see, in India, we don't need to worry about socializing because the population is such. Step out of the gate. Or now, earlier we used to live, now the apartment culture is there. So where is the lack for socializing? It's not
Mm.
like I don't know the next person, because everyone is going to the park to play in the evening. So they are friends. And in school, there is a community. That community is playing together. They're going to sports. The sports itself is a community. There also the children are meeting a big group and all, and people are traveling. Now parents are traveling with the child, going here and there and trying to give real life experiences. They're
Road
going
school.
on, yeah, they're going trekking with the children, where the community is diverse. So
Mm.
that is learning. And here the child, even, engaging the child in the real life scenarios. These are all real life scenarios where parents are trying to engage. Open schooler usually thinks differently. They don't
Mhm.
think about exams. They don't think about, tomorrow the child has to go and do something. So it is a different scenario where there is a discipline. Parents should understand this. Open school means they are left open. No, it is not like that. Parents have to understand there is a structure in even open schooling. There is a format, or there is a certain ways of
Okay,
functioning.
so would it be right to say that open schooling, your homeschooling, unschooling, road schooling, etc., are one kind of open schooling? Montessori also comes under the open schooling format?
Montessori can be, it depends on the schools. If they have CBSE, ICSE, what they do is till third grade they are doing it, and then they are pushing the child into a
Ah,
conventional.
okay.
Where I don't want to be that,
Mm, mm,
because 2040 is not going to be the same.
correct.
Without practical, without learning independently, without challenging yourself, you cannot perform in the future. It is going to be very, very difficult. Anybody, my friend has done, I told last time, my friend has done psychology. She is into an MNC, doing really well because her communication skills are good. The way handling the community is good. Probably because of that, there is nowhere related to the software and this thing. She's a trainer. It's this is what I'm telling you. See, everything is a skill. Engineering is a skill. Medicine is a skill. You should be like, because mother wants, I should not go and join. Father wants, should not go and join. And
Mm,
I've even seen many children, not being successful after some time, though they have got 100 marks on the paper, they are not successful. Don't
mm,
think marks bring success. Marks doesn't bring success. It's the
mm,
real life scenarios, being there, being empathetic, community, and taking
mm.
responsibility is one thing. You might say, like, and civic engagements, like, going out and taking the children around, trying to uh, do community work. You must be knowing about this Youth for Parivartan or something, which they have
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up, and they take a lot of full
Yes.
youths to volunteer and do that. I'm very much interested. See, we should bring such things in our practices,
Is
and
this
we should
something that
expose
you
our
try to
children.
integrate into your school
Yes,
as well?
exactly. I was talking about now my grade four and all. We were talking about the other day, but it was raining. We were thinking they were very much willing to go out and clean our area. Then the one child was like, are they going to pay us? Question. Then other child, see, we are not putting things. Other child is like, it is your road, it is your environment. You should clean. Why should you expect money from that?
Oh,
So
how
nicely.
beautiful. Mm,
Exactly. It is like eye opener even for us. How
mm,
children speak and the way they think and the way they express. This is
mm.
our road. This is our environment. No, we should clean it. This is what he told, and I was really happy. Then I felt, okay, good, this child is with us for a long time, and he's come out good. He's growing good. This is what I felt, it is not that. Everything is not about money,
That's right.
isn't it?
Everything is not about money, but money is important for us to
Yeah,
live.
of course, of
Right?
course.
And now, for children who are growing in the open schooling or the Montessori context, since you're a Montessori trainer, um, would you say that it is easier or more difficult for a child to go towards, monetizing their skills?
It is easy, actually.
Hmm.
See, yeah, it is easy. What I would rather say is our children have a lot of ideas and knowledge where they try to entrepreneurships come.
Mm.
They try to, get into this where they try to do something new, something different.
Mm.
The mindset of going and working is less.
Mm.
Though monetarily they can go and work, it is not that they're not capable. They can go and work. It is not that. But still, being there and helping out and taking care of things and responsibility also brings in money. It is not that it doesn't bring in. It will bring in.
Right.
And there are a lot of platforms to work on them. And they have all the subject knowledge. They can
Mm.
take up anything. It's their choice ultimately, and they will become responsible and they know how to take care of themselves, not depending.
Hmm. So if a child wants to, at some point in time, we have discussed this in another live as well. For those of you who are watching, please go back. I think it was the last video or the video before that, right? So we did talk about, how children can integrate from Montessori to
Conventional.
traditional, conventional, schooling system. So now, in this particular context, if we are saying that it is easier for children to monetize their skills because they have the life skills as well that has been parallelly
Yes.
worked on,
Yes.
which is actually more important, if not as important as the main core skill in order for monetization and really scaling a business. Um, the question that's coming to me is we want entrepreneurs, we want people who are creative, yes, but we also want the working class, right? So that's how an economy functions, and that's pretty much how society functions today. And the Macaulay education system, based on, I don't remember the book I read it in, but I remember there's this whole conversation about they wanted a class of laborers who will
So
not
then,
question back authority. If the authority says do this, you want to stay 2 hours extra, you've got to do it exactly this way. They needed a class of people who would do just that. And it was easiest to train that from the youngest age so that the
yes.
question of going out of that system would never come up, right? Now, would you say that we're not saying everybody needs to come into Montessori? It is that, we have a place for this, but also the conventional education system. How would you reconcile that conversation?
See, even the child who's learning in a conventional system also has become an entrepreneur and they have
Yes,
done otherwise.
exactly.
Okay. So it's not about that. It's about the choice of the child, what he has to do. Now, if there are 100, population is 100. I
Mm.
am teaching all the 100 Montessori. Okay. It's a challenge. So they come as a community, they have empathy, they have responsibility, they have a lot of things with them, tagged
Mm.
on with them, where they're skilled with all the things. Now,
Mm.
say one person who is a high thinker wants
Mm.
to start something. Everyone
Mm.
will get along with them and they
Mm.
can do it together. It's not that others might have financially it might be difficult, but person who is with financially well-to-do, they
Mm.
can bring it together and all of them can get together and help each other
Mm.
and work. They
Mm.
can work together and they will have their, according to the working this thing, they'll have hierarchies and all that is there. The acceptance to do it and the
Mm.
acceptance to getting into an institution and working there and trying to make it better
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
what I'm talking about.
Hmm. Okay. So irrespective of what choice they make, it would be an informed choice and they will be able to add more value rather
Yes.
than just being a follower.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. They can add a lot of value into the company. They can become, they can get into good positions, and really they're logical and analytical and problem solving, and a lot of things are there with them. They can
Hmm.
shine. Really, they can shine.
So what about when parents are concerned that there could be a gap, generally the perspective is that the mainstream curriculum or the conventional schooling system has a standardized curriculum, right? And is it possible that the child might fall behind academically?
No,
I
no.
know you said there are quite a few options and varieties when it comes to open schooling. Is there a way,
See, yes.
possibility for there to be an
See, the
academic?
thing is, I'll tell you one thing now. What is that is there in the book? What is in the environment is there in the book. In order to read, what do we need? Language. In order
Mm,
to solve problem, we need math. These are the two things. If we have these two things, the rest is general knowledge. You can learn. It's a skill. Anything, it's skill-based learning. That's why we call it as skill-based learning. Basic is language. Because everything is taught with language. It can be Kannada medium, Malayalam medium, Tamil medium, English medium, anything. It's taught through language. It can be
mm,
social science or whatever it need to be taught through these
language.
languages. If you offer the child a certain, after the child learns how to read, write, and do math and all that, if you give one step
Mm,
at a time, the
mm,
topics from science, the topic from, don't you think the child will be able to learn? So
mm,
now the child is in ninth grade.
mm,
When we are talking about giving exams, we think only at the age of 13, 14.
mm.
Okay. Don't you think by then the child is capable of self-learning and doing things with the help of
Yes.
a teacher
Now,
or a
if we
guide or
have
whoever?
never ever given an exam in the traditional sense,
That's absolutely
at
fine.
ninth, wouldn't it be difficult for them?
Nothing. It won't be difficult, nothing. Because the child knows what to do. Because the child has been practicing regularly. Don't you
Mm,
think the child will give exam is what? They give the same questions what we are doing in the class, same thing is given on a paper.
mm,
Ultimately, you need to know the content matter. Now CBSE is announcing this open book exam or whatever. Open
mm,
book exam is like it's not just you are seeing the book and you're writing. You should learn the book first. You should read the whole book. Then only you will know some question whichever is asked from this chapter or this page. It is not
mm,
like, oh, it's open book. Tomorrow I'll go open. You have only 3 hours. In 3 hours, you can't read a 200-page book.
mm.
Take math or science or whatever. If it is, see, it is not like that. It has to be like, it's a process. It's a process where children are taking responsibility. First is taking responsibility to learn. And the way you are producing it, the way you are applying
Got
your
it,
skills
got
there.
it, got it,
It
got it.
is not
So
at all
what
difficult.
what 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 I'm hearing is that even mainstream school CBSE is also, picking up on the significance of
Yes, CBSE.
learning and internalizing the concept rather
Yes,
than
yes.
just rote learning,
Rote
right?
learning, yes.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that because children have had a hands-on learning experience and they
Yes,
have truly internalized the concept,
yes.
they're not really depending on rote learning in order
No,
to
no.
apply and write
Apply.
and
No,
perform in the
no,
examination. So
no.
because of which there is no fear of performance. Is that
There's no, yes,
something
they're
that you
very
would say?
confident. They're very, very confident. They can refer the book, anything in the library, they can pick up because there's no set textbook as such, but set topic is there. Say it
Mm,
is hard. If I take the topic hard.
mm,
Hard topic is everywhere the same. CBSE, ICSE, everywhere it is the same. Here,
mm,
our children will refer more books.
So they go more deeper.
They learn in depth, more deeper, studying about it and doing things about it and whatever it can be. It's not like superficial learning. So
Now,
don't
I
you think our
know
children they
for
cannot do
sure that
medicine?
when I used to give exams, even if the question, if the answer is right, if the answer doesn't match what's in the textbook, it would still be a wrong answer,
That is where, yes, that
right?
is one thing I don't agree at all on this exam
Yes,
system
we may
today.
agree or not agree, but the point being that
But
is how it is, right?
it
So
is
when
there.
at the age of 13, 14, they want to give a 10th standard exam, for example, if the response is coming more from these reference books and their internalized knowledge, which is not wrong, but it doesn't really translate to marks. Have you
I
seen?
understand. I absolutely understand this. And usually, what an open school does is they do train the children. And though they have a lot of knowledge and everything will be there, the child knows this is the textbook I'm supposed to study and I'm supposed to perform in this.
Hmm.
So that training will be given. That training will.
Okay.
So what I am telling is with the kind of knowledge and the approach they have a lot of confidence, they have a lot of knowledge in them where they can perform. It's not at all difficult for them to perform. They can perform. It is
Hmm.
not like, they'll underperform or they don't do anything at all or whatever they have written might not match the teacher's answer or something like that. But in 10th board, it need not match teacher's answer. Only the younger ages, that's what, see, from grade 1 to 5, they teach rose is red, rose is dead, color this, color this, color this. Then after that, then home. 5 topics they'll give, my home, my park,
Hmm.
uh, my city, something like that. And they'll give few sentences. That is not children, it is the teacher's home, it is the teacher's park, it is the teacher's city. It is
Correct.
not the child's city, it is not the child. Then suddenly in grade 4, 5, they'll tell write essay, 200 words.
Correct.
Child is lost.
Hmm.
Now you tell me, don't you think this child will find difficult writing an exam in 10th board?
Hmm. Hmm. So what you're
So it
saying
is
is,
like,
hmm.
yes, it is like, it is a balance. It is a balance. Here, our children are allowed to write whatever, irrespective of the spelling or what they are thinking or grammar and all that. So once the expression comes in, the grammar can be put in place, the writing can be put in place, anything can be put in place. And the child also takes responsibility and he understands. So I'm finding these spellings difficult. I'm finding these sounds difficult. I should work towards it. Until and unless there is a difficulty in learning, specific learning disability in a child,
Hmm.
all this is possible. So SLD children might need a little more structure where every day we should sit with them and do certain practices and certain things are there. So that is a different scenario. Otherwise, children whom I am seeing, they can out do anything they can. That is that much though I can tell.
So what I'm hearing is that in the open schooling system, children's learning is very vast, and when
Yes.
they have to come to the exam part, they need to narrow down
A little
what
bit.
is that
The
they
final,
know
yes.
to in order
Yes.
to fit into the
I did.
exam
Yes.
mold.
Yes.
And children who come specifically designed for the exam mold, they're given within that mold only they
Yes.
be swimming.
Yes. They don't explore.
Yes, if you've given them 100%, this is the 100%. The open schooling gets to refer beyond this 100%, because of which they have a more deeper understanding, 300, 400, 600% compared to what is expected. So the expected 100% is not such a big deal. But if what is given to them itself is 100%, they end
They
up
don't
analyzing 30, 40, 60%, because of
whatever.
which that
Yes.
exam becomes a hard thing, right? So that was one of the things that I think was very beautifully put. Another thing that I picked up from you is that while there seems to be a lot more flexibility and freedom for the child, there is still structure within this unstructured
Yes.
space, right?
Yes.
And I think that would be a very valuable topic for us to take in our next session. We've already crossed 30 minutes at the moment. Thank you so much for this. It has been quite an enlightening conversation. I think the biggest takeaways would be that real life is not about reading, writing, and
Yes.
getting marks. And marks alone reading, writing, and marks alone don't bring success. For success, we definitely need more subtler aspects of living, which is your socialization, understanding needs versus wants, problem solving, taking responsibility, all of those things that we would bucket under soft skills and life skills. And it is the open schooling and Montessori method that has probably a lot more context, a lot more significance in terms of equipping the child with these as well, while giving them the academic support that they need, academic progress and growth that they need. I think that is something that is a very beautiful takeaway for us as parents, for me, and for whoever's watching. So thank you so much for that. And in the next session, for those of you who are watching, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about structured and unstructured learning, what that could mean for what kind of a child, in what kind of a space would we choose which methodology, or is there a space for both to be there for each child, and in what ratio? So that's what we're going to dive deep into in the next conversation. So stay tuned with us. Like, subscribe, follow, share this with your friends, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining us.